Heroism can mean many different things to many different people. For people living with intense chronic pain, just getting through the next day or the next hour can be a huge challenge. All her life, Bardi Koodrin has suffered from a host of unexplained illnesses and family tragedies. Crippling migraine headaches, melanoma, a brain tumor, chronic fatigue, shingles, digestive problems requiring 3 surgeries, fibromyalgia, herniated discs, and emergency surgery for detached retina are some of the afflictions she's weathered. She had to leave her career and was reduced to living in her bed or on the couch while trying her best to raise her son. But Bardi ultimately managed to turn this series of tragedies into an asset. Not only has she made it a learning, growing, healing experience for herself, she's also found ways to help others deal with similar circumstances. It was the computer that first turned things around for her. The one thing she could eventually do was write, and write she did. She's completed 3 novels, moderates a healing chat room, volunteers as an interviewer for a San Bruno cable TV show for seniors, and now writes The Healing Chronicles, a bi-weekly health and wellness column. Your story starts well before any pain. When you were 5 years old and you had what I think can be safely described as an extraordinary experience. Tell me about that.
It certainly was extraordinary. I was given a glimpse of my future. I was awakened in the middle of the night by a brilliant white light, and out of that light emerged this beautiful woman. She proceeded to sit down on my bed and tell me that I was going to have a very specific kind of life and that there was a real purpose to it, and she was there to prepare me because it was going to be a difficult life. And she told me that I was going to have a lot of physical illness and pain, and not only that, but that half of my family members would die of disease.
And how correct was the prediction?
I have indeed had a number of very serious physical ailments. And out of the 7 family members, 4 of them have indeed died of disease. So that's what took it from the realm of, well, maybe, to an absolute, at least in my mind.
So just name 1 or 2 times, very briefly, that you had another paranormal experience.
The day that I realized that my father had died, and I just very suddenly got up and said, I have to go home, my father just died. And he had indeed passed away. And that was an actual vision. I actually saw his face and he was smiling. And what that did for me was to reassure me that there is so much more to what we can see and feel in our physical environment. And it gave me that belief system, it reinforced the belief system that life does go on in some way. My husband, Boris, has been such a wonderful help to me. He would see how I would just fight. I would just fight the pain, and I would get so tense, and I would just, grit my teeth and clench my fists, and I was just like, I'm not going to give in to this. I'm not going to be a victim to this. He said, well, I think you need to look at it in a different way. It's not giving in, it's letting go. And there's a big difference, and it took me a long time to learn that.
When people come to you and ask for your advice, what's the biggest or maybe the first thing that you tell them they must do, or the most important thing?
Well, I tell them the simplest thing. Use your breath. It's very simple. People think, well, I can't meditate, that's too hard. But using your breath, breathing, is so automatic. But if you do it with intention, and if you just kind of center yourself, breathing is automatic. We all do it.
So what is your overall message? What legacy do you want to leave to your family and to the people that you're helping through your writing?
I have made my life an open book, and my whole focus in my writing, even in my fiction, has a theme, a thread of wellness of being that runs through it. And even my art therapy pieces, it's just another avenue of expressing, of telling my story.